proof, proof about Kamala Harris and if she's black or white. And all I need for y'all to do is to let me know if what I'm saying is true or not, because what I believe that I'm about to present is quite factual and it's undisputed facts that Kamala Harris is not black. And you all can have this discussion amongst your family, your friends, your co-workers. I'm about to give y'all the proper response and the factual information on how you are to prove that Kamala Harris is not black. She is not an African-American female. She ain't. Y'all know how all y'all niggas lately been talking about they not like us. Well, this is a classic example on how you can show that she is not like us. Now, and see, so Blexit, let me show this. I'm gonna show this. So Blexit, the community, he said Kamala Harris is biracial, half black, but she isn't Negro or American black. Okay, I'm gonna agree with that because here's how you can prove it. And this is out of her own mouth, how she has proven that she ain't black. Like black like us, niggas, here in America. What do they call that shit? What do the pro-blacks say? Is it ADOS, African descendant? Oh, I guess so. Let me get that. Who's the food off? Is it ADOS? I think they say she is ADOS or whatever, or foundational black. You ain't from the slaves that was here in America. This is that type of black. All right? Your folk ain't from Mississippi. You ain't from St. Louis. You ain't from Alabama. You ain't one of us black folks. And this is all y'all gotta say. And anybody who's black, tell me if I'm wrong. Because only niggas can answer this question. I'm sorry to all of my white people, Asians that may be watching. I apologize. This is out of y'all realm, and y'all just don't know this shit here. So if you not black, if you're white, Asian, Hispanic, or other, you cannot answer this question. But here it is. Are you ready? This is the proof that Kamala Harris, that she said out of her own mouth, that verifies and confirms that she is not black. This woman said that she washes her collard greens in the bathtub. She said she washes her collard greens in the bathtub. I don't know, have never heard, I have never seen what they say in the church. Eyes have not seen, ears have not heard. I don't know the rest, but I've never seen anybody, and y'all quote me, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Niggas, black folks, down south, up north, East Coast, West Coast, we don't wash collard greens, mustard greens, turnip greens. We don't wash greens, period, in the bathtub. That is what black folks literally call unsanitary, nasty. We ain't never did that. Now, I'm just telling y'all, she said that out of her own mouth. Bathtub? Niggas don't do shit in a bathtub besides take a bath. We don't do nothing that pertains to cooking or food or anything else in our bathtub besides washing our own ass. Niggas don't even bathe their dogs in the bathtub. Niggas wash their dogs outside. Put the leash on, you get the water hose, you get your bucket with your soapy water, and you wash your motherfucking dog outside. That's white folk that wash their dog inside in their bathtub. White folks wash their dog in the shower. We don't do that shit. I'm just saying, y'all go back and correct me if I'm wrong. Show me the footage of your grandmama. I'm sorry, yourself, your mama, your grandmama, your great-grandmama, or your great-great-great-grandmama washing greens of any kind. Because you know collards is by themselves. Now, you can do mustards and you can do turnips. I got a mean green mix now. It's a family secret. I make some motherfucking greens now for your ass now. But you ain't never seen no nigga wash no greens in no bathtub. And I'm telling you, niggas don't make no little small pot. Niggas make big pots of greens. And she can try to say, well, it was for so many people. Nope, nigga, if you in the kitchen sink or you got one of them basin sinks, you will wash 75 pounds of greens in them sinks in the kitchen. You don't go put no greens in the tub. It's unsanitary. So I'm just telling y'all, that sealed the deal. Just like how we knew that motherfucking Hillary Clinton didn't walk around with no hot sauce in her purse. Talking about I take this shit everywhere. We knew that shit ain't true. Y'all know good goddamn well there's no nigga nowhere that has ever washed some greens in the tub. No way. Hey, boy, ain't no fucking way, boy. Boy, ain't no fucking way. Just saying. And if there's anybody that can dispute that, please let me know. But I ain't never, ever heard of or seen anyone wash they greens in the bathtub. There. Shout out to my man Trucker C out there. I see you, boy. Good to see you, my brother. Hit that horn for you. That's for all my truckers. Loves my truckers out there. But just so we are clear, don't y'all let nobody else say this around her again. Black folks alike, all these black celebrities that's towing the line, talking about she is black, she's biracial, she both. Nope, that bitch is Jamaican and Indian, whatever else you want to call her. She ain't African American. She ain't black. She ain't from this here black folks here in the States. No, sir. No, sir. The tub? No way. I'm sorry. But I just wanted to clear that up before we moved into the show topic. And I just had to get that off my chest. I had to lay my burdens down. That woman don't say it around me, because I ain't going to let you say it. And there's my comeback to it. Why would you say that she's not black? How can you prove that? Why does it even matter? It don't matter to me. I can say that. It don't matter. The fact that she's Jamaican and Indian, I could care less. That's fine. But you can't say Kamala Harris is black around me. Because I'm going to tell you why she ain't black. Because niggas don't wash greens in tubs, bathtubs. Now, you can have one of them big ass motherfucking basin tubs. You can have one of them maybe wash some greens in it. But niggas don't wash greens in the bathtub. Actually, we can make that a t-shirt. I need me a t-shirt manufacturer. I need some, hey man, look, get the word out. I got like several t-shirt ideas and I need to sell some merch. Please, whoever y'all are, if you can just take my idea and put it on a t-shirt, I need that person. Lord, I'm going to pray right now. Dear Heavenly Father, I ask, Lord, that you send me a t-shirt maker, Father God. Not just any old t-shirt maker. I'm talking about a quality t-shirt maker, Lord. I'm speaking it out into the universe. They say the power of life and death is in the tongue. Lord, please send me a t-shirt maker, someone whom I can just give my t-shirt ideas to, and they can bring it to fruition with just some money and my words. Lord, in Jesus' name, amen. I need me a t-shirt maker because that's a t-shirt. We don't wash greens in the bathtub and just have a picture of the bathtub with a circle on it and a bunch of greens on around it and just with a line through it. Niggas don't wash greens in the bathtub. No, sir. But just saying, we don't do shit like that. And for her to say that, and the fact that if she was black, you couldn't convince me to say that on no platform. Nope. And before y'all start asking me what's in this cup, this is not Hennessy. This ain't no Crown Royal, nothing like that. This good old-fashioned sweet tea. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I couldn't drink that much. That was some Hennessy. But yeah, that's all I got to say about that. Now we can carry on with the show and we can actually move forward with this afternoon's presentation. But I got to get that off my chest. Nope. Niggas, don't wash greens in the bathtub. That's just what it is. That's it. Okay. So with that being said, let's get into the topic of this evening. Yes. And the topic is this. I didn't realize that someone like Nino Brown could ever really exist in real life until I seen these Venezuelans literally taking over these apartment complexes like they did the Carter in New Jack City. This shit is wild. And I want you guys to take a look at this as we break this down. And it's two major points I want to, well, it's actually a few points I'm going to make about this. But let's go ahead and let's get it started. Actually, I forgot to play my fair use. There we go. I hope y'all can hear that. There we go. So, first up, let's go ahead and let's do this.
An apartment complex in Aurora. We see men there entering an apartment building with several weapons, then busting down a door. All of this taking place at the apartments, which have become a crime hotspot in that city.
Vicenta Arenas was at that complex today as people were
at the apartments, which have become a.
Now, let me just point out one thing. You have not just one, two, three, but you have 4 guns, 3 handguns, and a rifle. Now, this is a point that I want to make too to all of you anti-Pro 2A and all of these, hey, I am against assault rifles and all of that kind of stuff, even though they're not called assault rifles, but that's what everybody calls them, the AR-15. Let me ask you this. If you were on the other side of this door, which apartment 301 it appears to be, you were on the other side of that door, and you got 1, 2, 3, 4 people. 4 people that are armed, not to mention the other dude that was out there, because that made
crime
5.
hotspot in that city.
Vicenta Arenas was at.
If you have 5 people coming through the door, you see that's 5. That's 5.
All of this taking place at the apartment.
There you go right there. That's 5 people. You tell me what gun, because you know Joe Biden thing was what? What was Joe Biden's thing to the gun thing? All you need is a shotgun. You just need a shotgun. If you got 4 people coming through the door, 5 total, 4 of them armed, breaking into your apartment or your home with would you rather want to have a shotgun? Now, your average typical shotgun carries anywhere between 5 to 7 rounds. Okay? 5, 1 in the chamber, or 7. That's usually what they have. Right? Now, excuse me. You got 5 people already. That literally means you have roughly 1 shot per assailant. 1 shot per assailant. That means you have to be, as Denzel said, you got to be surgical with that motherfucker. How many people are surgical with a shotgun? To where not only are you just saying, well, if you just shoot in a direction, they'll run away. These motherfuckers ain't running away. They're not running away. You know what you need? Would you rather have a shotgun or would you rather have a Barrett Rec 7? That's my point. So anybody that ever tells you these are weapons of war, bullshit. This is what you need when you got 5 people coming through your door. This is the gun you want to have. This is why you need a 30-round magazine. This is why you need to have an AR-15. Because there's nothing that it's easier to shoot. It's way more accurate. And hey, a shotgun has the recoil of a shotgun makes you less accurate. That's why you need an AR-15. When you got 5 people coming through the door and 4 of them got guns in hand. I would imagine Mr. Tan shirt right here, he has a gun too, but I'm just saying, when you have that many people and that many people coming in and that many people coming in through the door and that they coming into the door to do whatever they want to do. Not saying they there to rape you, rob you, beat you, choke you, whatever. They are coming in to do whatever they want to do. When you got that kind of people coming through your door, you not only want an AR-15, but you need an AR-15. You need a 45-round magazine. Because this ain't got nothing to do with, it's a weapon of war. Nope. My man Dion Prime said, boy, you ain't shit. Dion Prime said, wait, why can't we just call on Jesus? You can. You can call on Jesus while you're getting your ass whooped. You can call on Jesus while you getting shot. You can call on Jesus while you getting robbed. You sure can. And Jesus gonna be like, son, I made an AR-15 so that you can have it. Why you don't have one? That's what Jesus gonna say.
Which have become a crime hotspot in that city.
President Arenas was at that complex today as people were moving out, saying they were scared for their safety.
This video is significant. It is the first time that we are getting an up-close look at some of the things that were happening inside this building. You're going to see 2 different clips. In one, people carrying guns, and another, 2 guys trying to knock down a door. The video shows a group of men walking up a stairwell at the Edge Lowry apartment complex in Aurora. All of them appear to be carrying rifles and handguns, and the video shot earlier this month. One of the men can be seen talking on a cell phone. They all then gather around a door and go in. Another video clip shows men forcing a door open. But what or who they were searching for, not clear. The video was shot in the building where Cindy and Edward Romero lived.
And here's my thing. I don't think that these people were there to get those people. They're just literally, in my opinion, what it looked like, they was looting. People may not be in those apartments. People may be in those apartments. They may be gone to work, whatever the case may be. They busting up in there because they can. Ain't nobody. You saw how loud that hammer was? Ain't nobody calling the police, or the police ain't showing up, or they got that relaxed policing shit. Well, we're not going to over police. So if it's not something where it's over $1,000, there's nothing we're going to do about it. But what do you do in this situation? Because the person who does get busted in on and they try to resist, what you think gonna happen to them? They're going to get knocked upside the head with a hammer, or they're going to get shot by one of the four gunmen that walked through the door. And those illegal immigrants, they don't give a shit because what? They ain't got no fingerprints, they ain't got no ID, and nobody's going to know shit or say shit as to who did it. So they literally don't care.
Until today, they loaded up their stuff and moved out.
It's been a nightmare, and I can't wait to get out of here.
So imagine for them to say, I'm just gonna move. And the whole thing now is that the city is trying to say, well, we're investigating this and it's not a problem to where everybody's suffering like this. It's a few complexes that are having. This is more than one complex that's having this issue in Aurora, Colorado. It's more than one. And what they're saying is they're investigating it, but for someone to be moving out, that's a clear indicator as to say the police aren't doing a goddamn thing about the people there. Now, are they just standing by while people are getting shot and robbed and killed? No, but because the police aren't there and there isn't a consistent police presence in a complex like this, then what that means is these people are literally doing whatever the hell they want. And by the time the police get there, it's too late. It's too late. So whatever crime that does happen, by the time y'all get in there, it's a wrap. And y'all don't know who these people are. Y'all can't go find these people. They're undocumented people. They are literally illegal aliens, so they can do whatever they want.
This is how Cindy used to lock her front door.
Every day when we come home, we have to do this. Every time we go outside to take out the garbage, every time we try to go to bed at night, we have to keep it like this so nobody can kick in the door.
The couple's car and many others here.
Why would she have that many locks on the door? Because somebody else has had their door kicked in like that before. That's literally what it is.
Here were riddled with bullets after a shootout at the complex earlier this month.
Look at all that shit back there. This is the other thing I want to show you. Do you see that? That lets you know that these are units that they have allowed to be taken over. Period. Trash ain't even being picked up. Bulk pickup trash ain't even being picked up. So that means there's literally just these places have been taken over. Absolutely, Steve. He said they made the right choice to get the hell out. In a situation like this, you can't band together as a community and get this taken care of overnight. No, you literally have to leave because it's unsafe. And at any given point in time, you or your family members can be a victim. Which brings my other point. This is why it's so important for us to protect the Second Amendment. This is why it's so important for people to realize how important it is for us to be able to carry and own guns. Because them illegal immigrants, how the fuck did they get guns? They either brought them over here or they got them illegally because they have no ID. So none of these people have went to the gun store to buy their gun. They don't have any ID. These are illegal aliens. You can't go buy a gun being an illegal immigrant. But this is what happens. So those people who legally should not have guns, they got them anyway, don't they? And you know why? Because criminals don't obey the law. They operate outside the law, which is why they call them outlaws. Outlaw, outlaw, outlaw. That's what it is. So what do I do when a person who illegally has a gun and it's not just one, but it's 4 of them that got them? Tell them they're not supposed to have them? How come the police haven't caught these guys and taken their illegal guns? Let the police do their job. That's what they tell you. That's what Bloomberg said. The police should be allowed to do their job and they should be the only ones that have guns. Right. But when I got 4 illegal immigrants that show the fuck up with guns and I don't have one, then what do? Just lay down and give them what they want, huh? Right.
The Romeros say the trouble started when a large number of migrants began moving in. They had not been able to move out for different reasons.
We couldn't get any. We tried reaching out to the resources, but they told us since it wasn't actually a condemned building, we would have to wait until that was the issue, but we didn't want to wait for that. So the only help I got was after talking to you.
And that's the other thing, too, that they're not saying. It's not like these immigrants came in and they applied for, the apartments and they moved in there and they put their first month, last month rent in, got approved and moved in. No, these complexes that I just able to figure this out just because I know how shit goes when it comes like this. You have a complex that has units that are not being rented for whatever reason. Whether they are in violation of certain building codes, whether they have issues with, plumbing, whatever the case, the places are technically and legally not able to be rented because of code violations and because of issues. Could be where, hey, it's certain things going on with the structure. It could be anything as to why these units are not rented. Now, you can still have some units that are rentable. But those unrented units, when you have illegals that just come in at any time of the day and they squat, that's why the building's not condemned, because it still has habitable units in it. Some units are inhabitable, but those illegal immigrants move into those places. Why? May not have water, but it's a roof over the head. May leak in 4 rooms, but not in all of them. So there's some type of shelter that can be taken there, so that's why they're using it.
Showed council member Danielle Jurinsky the video. Today, she helped the couple move out and find a new place to live.
The city nonprofits have lined up to help the migrants that have come here, but nobody is helping the American citizens, the residents that are trapped in these apartment complexes.
The Romeros tell us others living here had been asking when they'd be moving out.
And this isn't just Americans. This is other Venezuelans that are living under this control, that are being extorted by the control of this gang.
While we were on the property today, even before we left, we were told other people were moving in and taking over the Romeros unit.
There you go. So now when you look at, why would people move in there? People move in there because they don't have any place to go. And I bet my bottom dollar, my last dollar, that the rent there is quite affordable. So either I'm homeless or I can pay $500 a month for rent. I'm homeless or I can pay this $500. Homeless or 500. Homeless, I think I'll just pay the 5. So Tiberius said, Brian, legally, do illegal immigrants have rights that are afforded to American citizens? Is the question. We know how wild coups used to be back, coups used to be back in the 70s and 80s. I don't know what they mean by coups, but yes, they have certain human rights that are afforded to them, but the government has went out of their way to spend hundreds of millions of dollars. Oh, cops. We know how wild cops used to be back in the day. Gotcha. They have spent hundreds of millions of dollars to provide resources for these illegal aliens so that they can actually have access to the same thing Americans have access to. So the money that it takes to, like in Chicago, they opened up the closed down schools, the closed down park districts from the city, because the city owns those properties. They opened them up and spent millions of dollars to get those units back, those buildings back in functioning order so that they could have people live there. And as those people moved in there to live, they basically had access to money. They had access to resources, food, clothes, and things like that. So yes, the government, our government, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and them specifically went out of their way for these sanctuary cities to have financial resources available to them so that they could have the same rights as American citizens do, if not more. So yes, when illegal immigrants come over here, they still get habeas corpus. They instantly get right to a speedy trial and all of that. All of those basic Bill of Rights, they get that. They get locked up. They have to go through the legal process like anybody else. They get afforded those rights. They go to jail. They get fed just like everybody else, 3 hots and a cot. But the government has went out of their way and spent hundreds of millions of dollars to actually provide resources for these people. And when I say hundreds of millions of dollars, I'm saying hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars. Do y'all realize, this just hit me? Do y'all realize that our government has spent more money on illegal immigrants and foreign aid than they have spent on our own homeless? They have taken hundreds of millions of dollars. You're right, Tony Fabulous. I apologize. I've been corrected. They've spent billions of dollars on foreign aid, the money that they've given to just Ukraine alone. We ain't even talking about the other countries. Just what they've done for Ukraine alone and what they've spent on these sanctuary cities and the funding that they've done, the transportation, the free airline tickets, the free bus tickets. You add all of that up, the debit cards, the housing, the food, all of the medical expenses, everything that they have spent. They spent more money on illegal immigrants than they have on our own born and raised homeless. You look at your tent cities in California, San Francisco. You look at the homeless people who've just born and raised here. People that are mentally unstable, people that that have served our country and literally cannot function in today's society. They spent billions of dollars on illegal immigrants of taxpayer money than they have spent on our own. Now, y'all tell me how that shit worked. Just think about that. Your own government spent more money on people that do not live here and that are not from here than they have on you themselves. Said, I know you are going to discuss this. Logic 56 says, I know you are going to discuss it, but why do you think the government is refusing to help these people? The government has stopped crazy religious groups, but they are refusing to help this problem. Here's why. I can explain that logic. Great question. Because they want this problem. Because it does a couple of things. Number one, it increases crime. It increases chaos, and it increases confusion. And also, it creates new Democratic voters. There's 4 right there. Well, when you say the crime and the confusion and the chaos, why do they want that? Here's why your current administration wants that. Because the more unsafe you are, the more you are afraid. The more afraid you are, the more rights you are willing to sacrifice. Just like when everybody got scared for COVID, what did y'all do? Y'all all put on masks, y'all all stayed y'all punk asses in the house, and y'all all went and took shots because the government told you to. Mm-hmm. And now look at all of the people that are dropping dead like flies out the blue, young folk, because they had that shot and they ain't saying nothing about it. All y'all motherfuckers out there that ain't pure bloods, y'all should all be nervous. Y'all should all be scared. Because at any given point in time, your heart could seize and have an attack, or you could have a clot, blood clot. Take your ass up 35, 40,000 feet in the air on the plane, and out of the blue, boom. Blood clot, gone. But here's the thing. When you're talking about the way that we succumb to that, people were afraid of COVID. So what did they do? They gave up their rights. They got told they had to get a vax card. You motherfuckers went and get vax cards. You was told you had to take the shot. Y'all lined the fuck up in droves to go take a shot. Told you had to go get tested. You motherfuckers lined up to go get tested. I didn't go. I'm a pure blood. I wasn't taking that shot. Fuck that. I wasn't taking that shot. Neither were my kids. And I'm so glad they didn't. But all these motherfuckers now, all of a sudden, got cardiomyopathy, didn't know it. Motherfucker, you didn't know it because you just got it 2-3 years ago. All these athletes in perfect physical health having heart attacks. Shout out to Bronny James. They don't want to admit that these motherfuckers had them shots. All y'all friends, I done had like 3 or 4 friends that I went to high school with. And yes, I'm now 50 that have just all of a sudden died. All of a sudden, just dead. Don't nobody know why. Don't nobody know what happened. But that's what it is. People lost their jobs because they didn't go get vaxxed. But there were so many people that kept their jobs because they did. But that's why the government is egging this shit on, idly standing by, not interacting, but steady funding the fuckery because that's how they benefit from it. They want you to be so scared that you're willing to sacrifice all of your rights. They want you to go to the government and say, we'll do whatever y'all tell us, just please make it stop. They want to get you to that point. Sorry, but that's what it is. That's just what it is. And when you put yourself in a situation to where those things happen. That's what you get. You get what you get.
We got a statement from the mayor's office this afternoon telling us that so far there are no code enforcement actions that will be taking place at this complex. The mayor's office also telling us that the Aurora Police Department was able to see this video earlier in the investigation. And today, Danielle Jurinsky, the council member, telling us that she's also helped another person move out of this complex. Reporting from the Aurora Municipal Center, Vicente Arenas, 2 Prime News.
There you go. There you go.
This is brand new video obtained here at Fox 31. This is at an apartment complex in Aurora showing men with long guns and pistols in their hands. This is at an apartment building, and a pretty concerning video that is now going viral on social media. Yeah. National news is picking this up, but we've been following this locally for weeks and we have questions.
City council members and people living in the area claim this is part of a gang takeover in several parts of the city. Those claims now getting national attention. So we wanted to go right to the mayor. Mayor Mike Kaufman joins us live via Zoom this morning to talk more about this situation.
Now, first of all, but wait, let me say this. And you know why that happened? Nigga, please. You know why that happened? It's because niggas vote they feelings. That's why. I will say this, and I'm telling you, I hate to admit it, but when it comes to niggas in politics, niggas are some of the dumbest motherfuckers ever. I saw a video where a woman said, I'm voting for Kamala Harris because she's my sorority sister. And I'm a member of this is an educated woman. I'm a member of the Alpha Kappa Alpha. And she's my sorority sister, so I'm going to vote for her. Not she my line sister and I know her and we crossed over together. Not we went to school together and I know her personally, that's why I'm voting for her. Nope. She said because she's in the same sorority that I'm in, I'm going to vote for her to run the fucking country. I'm sorry, but that same dumb shit Ricky Smiley was saying. And can somebody please, because nobody's done it yet, and I asked on that show for somebody to please tell me how in the fuck does a sorority or a fraternity qualify you to be the fucking president? This is an educated black woman. This woman has a fucking degree. And she said she's voting for this woman whom she does not know, whom she did not recite a single policy for. I'm voting for her because she is in the same sorority I'm in. That's just like me saying, I'm going to vote for Man Jenkins because he's a GD like I am. I'm from 12 Deuce and he from 69th. But the fact that he a GD, I'm voting for him. I don't know this nigga. I don't know none of his policies. I don't know if he's qualified or not. He has no qualifications to even say that he could be president, but he got my vote because we got blessed into the same game. On the boss, throw up the rakes, 7-4, BOS, nigga. That's it. I want this nigga to run the fucking country because we in the same game. Do you understand how stupid you have to be to make that type of connection to where you are willing to cast your vote for someone to literally run the country, have access to the nuclear codes while we're on the fucking cusp of World War III, while we're in a financial fucking crisis, while inflation is through the roof? People can't afford groceries. People can't afford gas. People can't afford utilities. People can't afford a home. But you voting for this bitch because y'all are fucking Alpha Kappa Alpha. Ski wee. this. And we wear pink and fucking green. 1908, bitch. We one of the, what they call them, the original five or some shit like that. The Divine Nine. That's what they call that shit. We one of the Divine Nine. Bitch got my vote. I don't know her. That's the same shit Ricky Smiley said. And this was another bitch that wasn't on that show. This was a whole nother bitch that just said that shit. When they asked, why are you voting for Kamala Harris? Because she's my sorority sister. What, bitch?
What did you say, nigga?
Really? Now I'm gonna make her class president. Not the fact that she's gonna be, you know, head of the bridge club at the country club. Nope. I want her to be the fucking president. Just like people are saying, I want her to be president because she's a woman. How fucking stupid can you be? Fuck qualifications, fuck education, fuck experience, fuck all that. I want this bitch to go sit down with Xi Jinping. I want this bitch to go sit down with the Rocket Man. I want this bitch to go sit down with the heads of the fucking world just because she's in the same sorority I am. And we can put up the pinky while we line step. I don't know if you can get any dumber than that. I honestly don't. That's just like me telling y'all I'm gonna vote for Donald Trump because he liked the Bears. We Bears fans. I'm voting for Donald Trump because he from Chicago, nigga. That's how stupid niggas are. And proud of it. If somebody asks me, hey man, you being a black man, why are you voting for Trump? The last thing I'm gonna say is, cause he a cool ass white boy, man. I'm going to start with policy. I'm going to start with his experience. I'm going to start with his resume. I'm going to talk about the things that he's done. I'm talking about the things that I know that he can do in order to get us back into a better place. The last thing I'm going to do is say I'm voting for him because he's my fraternity brother. And any nigga that's willing to do that, I swear to God, you are an embarrassment to us, to our race, to women, to men, to the fucking entire voting and election process. Sorority sister. Okay. Right. My man Big Mo said, I'm voting for Trump because he rode the 103rd Street CTA bus with me. Yeah, I ain't know him then, but I'm voting for because he was on that bus. He rode the 128 bus on Halsted that would come up to Julian and then turn and go down Halsted so you wouldn't have to get that transfer. Fuck policy, fuck experience, fuck qualifications. Nope, just because she's a woman. Nope, I think she's black, so I'm going to vote for her. Didn't you get enough of that with fucking Obama? I would rather a motherfucker say, I know this bitch and she gonna give me a good ass job. That's why I'm voting for her. I would rather you say that because at least you can tell me why you doing it because there's something in it for your ass. What the fuck does it do for you as a black woman to say I'm voting for her because she's in the same sorority I'm in? Not same line sisters, not the same line, not even went to the same goddamn school. Because you didn't even know this bitch. You wasn't in school with this bitch at all. You're just saying I'm voting for her because she's in the same sorority I'm in. And that's enough. She don't have to give me no interviews. She don't have to explain who she is or what she wants to do. She doesn't have to lay out any policies, any plans. All she got to do is make me feel good and throw up the pinky and say I'm wearing chucks and pearls, and that's it. Have y'all noticed y'all ain't seen this bitch in chucks or pearls since she's been running? But with that first time with Joe, that was all, this is what I wear, chucks and pearls. Bitch ain't had on no Chuck Taylors and no pearls since that bitch got elected with fucking Biden. Ain't fucking had it on since. There it is.
Thank you for taking some time out. I know you're dealing with a lot. When you see this video, what do you think? Because I don't live in Aurora, but I think to myself, holy cow, if I lived in Aurora, I'd be freaking out right now.
Well, it's let me put it in context first. This concern that it's 3 apartment complexes, but that's not to minimize it at all. But we're, the 51st largest city in America.
That motherfucker said it's only 3 apartment complexes. This is the kind of shit that motherfucking liberals and Democrats say, and it sounds bad because it is bad. But the reason why he don't understand that is because he has never lived in an apartment complex that's been taken over. He ain't never lived in a neighborhood that's been taken over by gangs. He ain't never had to live in an environment like this. So that's why it literally means nothing to him. And he can minimize it by saying, well, it's only 3. Imagine a motherfucker telling you, yeah, they done took over the Stateway Gardens, the All-Girl Gardens, and the Robert Taylor homes. And the police ain't doing shit about it. Imagine that. Imagine that.
400,000 in population, and so, but there are 3 apartment complexes that we believe in where there is a concentration of Venezuelan migrants, and the criminality is unfortunately followed. So we have a task force with local, state, and our federal law enforcement partners working on it to root these criminals out and get them off the streets. But it certainly concerns me. But it is in 3 apartment complexes.
Now, you and I talked about this issue of apartment complexes, migrant gangs. We talked about this at length last week. And I did ask you if you knew about armed people going around and intimidating people at these complexes. And you said you did know that this was happening to the apartment building owners, and to an extent that we knew it was happening to people who lived there. But my question is, when did you first see this video? And when did you know it was to the extent that we're seeing in this video?
She said, Brian, did you see Quavo wearing pearls at Kamala's rally in Atlanta? I did not. I literally stopped watching like the DNC because they weren't saying anything. They were literally just saying, all they was doing was talking about Trump. So I stopped watching it. And even at her rallies, she literally says nothing. She just talk about, we're going to get things back on track. We're not going back. We're going to fight for the workers. We're going to do the good work. We're fighting the good fight. She's literally ain't got no plan saying, hey, look, on day 1, I'm going to do this bill. On day 2, I'm going to sign this bill. Within the first 3 months, we're going to fix. She ain't saying none of that. She's just saying a bunch of shit that people want to hear to make them feel good. Oh, yes, we're going to get things back on track. I know we're going to. So you basically just telling me that you going to fix a bunch of shit that you could be fixing now, but because you ain't fixing it now, I'm supposed to believe that you're going to fix it in January. Okay. But all of these celebrities, these black celebrities, literally ain't shit. Quavo, D.L. Hughley, Ricky Smiley, all these niggas ain't doing nothing but towing the fucking line and falling in line for this bullshit. I got a video that I'm gonna do about Tavis Smiley ass. These motherfuckers. Now, I'm not hating on you, but y'all can support who you want to support. But why would you be mad because somebody ain't supporting who you like? And because they're not, you less than this. Because you don't support who I'm supporting, then there's something wrong with you. Okay.
Well, we've known, well, you know, I think I put out a couple weeks ago that we had formed the task force. We knew at that time that we.
And that lets you know that it's a problem. Why? Because you had to form a task force. That's not normal protocol. Task force are formed when there are big problems.
We had formed the law enforcement task force to root them out. That that there was intimidation going on, and part of that intimidation certainly involves individuals with weapons.
Not saying, hey, we got one call, or this happened one weekend where we had 2 calls about that. No, they know that this is. They ran off all the administration. The administration that was, or the people that was running the place, they all left. And they've been intimidating these people with guns and shit, and the police ain't been able to do shit about it to the point to where he knows about it and said, no, we got to put together a task force to get over there and do this because regular policing obviously ain't working. Yep.
Mr. Mayor, why Aurora? You know, I've got people from across the country sending me messages. What's going on, Aurora? Why are these gangs in Aurora? Do we know why they came here? Why they seem to be taking over some spots in our city?
So I'm trying to trace it back right now. I can tell you, you know, some things that are unconfirmed that I believe are true. I think we.
So Squad Down says, bet if those illegal aliens went to rich people neighborhoods, this shit would have been stopped. Oh, it already happened. When our governor here, Governor Abbott, sent one busload. He sent one busload to Martha's Vineyard. Those people were gone within 48 hours. Like, not, oh, we took them back over the border. No, they were gone in 48 hours. So when they send them to the rich neighborhood, they're gone within 48 hours. When they send them to the hood, they be there long enough to where they can take over not 1, not 2, but 3 apartment complexes. Do you know how long it takes to do that? You can't do that in a night. You can't do that in a weekend. Nigga, that takes months to do. Yep. So yeah, it won't happen in rich neighborhoods because they get rid of their ass within 48 hours when they show up.
Know that these gang elements are attracted to concentrations of Venezuelan migrants. That's unfortunately, there's a lot of criminality in Venezuela. It's basically a failed state. The role of the police department there is to protect the government. It's not to protect the people. And so, unfortunately, some of these criminal elements have come up with the migrants. It's my understanding that Venezuela does not share criminal histories with the United States, and so it's very difficult to vet them at the border. Yet they've been allowed to come in anyway. People can cross the border illegally, be arrested, and then receive humanitarian parole. To apply, they've applied for political asylum until their cases can be adjudicated. It's a terrible combination where they come into the country.
And let me say this, because I know there's some people watching this, and here's what they're going to try to justify this with. Well, when you have a small city like this and they don't have the resources, you know, from a policing standpoint, then those kinds of things can happen and they can literally be overran because of that. You're right. That's why they have this small organization. Well, I'm sorry, rather large organization called the National Guard, which actually has troops in every state for this type of situation. When policing does get overwhelmed, that's what the National Guard is for. they guard the nation. State police, they guard and police the state. So your Colorado state troopers and your National Guard should be filling in to stand in the gap to wherever the Aurora police cannot. So any of the Aurora Police Department gaps that they may have, undermanned, not enough technology, or outgunned, outnumbered, whatever the case may be, those are two resources right there that they can call for instant assistance. Not, well, we're gonna have a meeting on Tuesday, then we'll sit down. I mean, that's governor phone call. Hey, get some state troopers up there to Aurora right now to assist. Hey, get the National Guard up there. I need at least 100 troops up there. Take care of this, man. That's a phone call. The other part, just to let you know, if it really gets fucked up, like it did in Chicago, you can call the FBI. They actually will assist too from a federal level. So there's literally no excuse for any apartment complex, let alone 3, to be taken over by illegal immigrants. Never. It is literally being allowed.
They don't have access to a work permit for 6 months. They don't have resources. I think what happened, and again, I'm trying to trace this back, is that what happened is we had, we have some buildings that unfortunately are pretty run down, have a high vacancy rate or relatively low rent. And I think somebody placed them there. Is it an agency of the federal government, perhaps, using some of our local nonprofit partners here as a conduit? Because the city of Aurora took a position early on that we were not going to participate in the migrant crisis. We were not going to provide taxpayer support, and we were not even going to be a conduit for federal dollars to come in to provide assistance. This is not our problem. This is a problem created by the federal government at the border with bad policy.
No, JB, you're wrong. He says JB, or he or she, whoever JB is, the FBI won't assist because it's an immigration problem. No, it's not correct. The FBI will assist whenever the fucking government tells the FBI to assist. The FBI does not have the motherfucking director of the FBI can send his people any fucking where he wants. The fucking president can send the FBI any fucking where he wants. Because it's not an immigration problem. This is a crime problem that's being committed by illegal immigrants. Basically saying, hey, go and support the police department. Not to say they got to go take it over. They go and provide support. Whether it's technology, hey man, we got a command center we set up for y'all. Y'all can get some surveillance going that we give y'all. They're not going to be the boots on the ground per se, but they can go there with their tools and their technology that they have to assist them with that. That's what that shit is for. Yes, the FBI can go and assist in that manner. They got all kinds of toys, all kinds of tricks and tips and tactics that they can use to help these people secure these facilities. The FBI absolutely does that. Now, will the FBI round up these immigrants and take their ass back up? No, that is an immigration problem. That is what the FBI don't do. But as far as saying, hey, we have a high spike in crime, we got all this shit going on, and we need some new jack cops to take down these new jack immigrants, that's what the fuck they're there for. That's how that shit works.
Policy. And so it's the federal government that needs to solve this problem, not the city of Aurora. But somehow we've gotten this problem. We inherited this problem involuntarily. And so I'm trying to walk it back and say, I believe that these people just didn't go there on their own. I think somebody put them there, and I'm trying to find out right now. And I have a meeting with a leader really understands these nonprofit organizations that provide assistance. Who provided this assistance? Who made this decision to put them there?
How the fuck you don't know that? You the mayor. He does know. He with the bullshit. That's why he's saying, I had to find out and investigate and do some more research to find out why they got there, who put them there, who sanctioned them to be there. How the fuck you don't know some 4, 5, 6, 7, 800, 900 fucking immigrants living in your fucking city? You know where the fuck they came from, bro. Don't play them games. Sweetheart, I'm on my show. Once I'm done, I can see what you got going on with your new nails. All right. Thank you. But yes, that's exactly what that is. He's acting like he don't know what's going on. Exactly. This woman's been in office for 3 years and she don't have, and I'm not saying she's been, and let me say this, because I believe that this is something that has not been said, but it should be said in all fairness to Kamala Harris. Yep, being fair to Kamala Harris. When people are saying, well, all of this has been going on and she's been in office for 3 years. No, she is not the president. Totally get that. However, she has been towing the line and supporting the president in all of his decisions. One. Number two, she has known for quite some time that Joe has not been capable of running the country, which is why he stepped down after that debate. She knew well before then because she's seeing this motherfucker every day. Number three, she don't have not one thing that she has done and been a part of to say, hey, well, I did do this that was for the people. Not one. Not a single thing. The one thing that she was in charge of is one of the biggest problems we have and one of the biggest concerns of voters today. And she's still trying to backtrack her ass out of that responsibility. No responsibility, no accountability. I was never the border czar. Bitch, we have you being deemed border czar not once, not twice, but 300-400 times motherfuckers saying you the border czar, and now all of a sudden you never was. Motherfucker asked you, have you been to the border, or why haven't you been to the border? And your response was, hell, I haven't been to Europe neither. This is your vice president responding like this. So I don't want to hear the fact that, well, she don't have a chance to control. There's only so much stuff she can control. That's not under her control. Bullshit. She was, as they deemed her border czar, in control of the border, and she didn't even go down there. And the reason why is because she wanted the shit to be fucked up. And when she did take her ass down there, she didn't even go to the part where it was fucked up at. She went to the good side of the border. That's all I'm saying.
National spotlight right now is on the city of Aurora. I asked you this same question last week as a yes or no answer. I'd like you to elaborate today. Is Aurora a safe place?
Absolutely. I think, you're talking about a city of well over 400,000 people, 51st largest city in America.
Again, Blexit, the FBI, they don't have to go and do anything. They can do plenty. They can do, look, you can go down there. The FBI could go down there with their fucking vehicles alone, with their fucking flashes on, and that shit would stop fucking crime. There's plenty you can do. You don't have to go and arrest everybody. All you need to do is go and put a law enforcement presence in these areas and shit will cease and desist. I don't understand how these people don't, well, I do understand because people don't know how law enforcement works. There are a lot of ways you can support law enforcement. A whole bunch of ways you can support law enforcement. You could put that whole entire area under fucking under FBI surveillance. And that shit would not be interfering with the protected class under the Biden administration. It would not interfere with that. Even though they are allowing it, which is why they're not there, but it wouldn't be anything illegal against them doing that.
America. And this is a very isolated problem. You know, we have other isolated problems that we're trying to deal with. And I, you know, as certainly the mayor.
You don't have an isolated problem in your area. You don't have an isolated problem with a bunch of immigrants in your area, do you? I guarantee you he don't.
Render any part of this city to a criminal element, whether it's sections of Aurora to, you know, prostitution and drug dealing, or it's these criminal elements from this Venezuelan criminal elements that are preying upon their own people, but in doing so have taken over several apartment complexes. So if we have to, and I hope we don't, I hope we can move these people out without pushing everybody out of the entire.
Yeah, I did hear about the Hells Angels that's going up there. I would love to see that. It seemed like it could just be bullshit, but I would love to see them go up there because they get them Venezuelans in line in 3 days. That should be over. That should be over being ordered in 3 days. Boy, they had their ass together.
Our apartment building. But I'll tell you, as somebody who was in counterinsurgency warfare in Iraq with the Marine Corps, you have an enemy population you have an enemy that is inside a population that is intimidated by them. And so the challenge is getting people to cooperate to identify them, or using film footage to identify them, get them out. So what I look forward to is updates from our police department and from our other law enforcement partners that are working on this to say what progress that we're making in these isolated areas, in these pockets, in terms of dealing with what I consider as an enemy force.
Well, if Fed policies, as you say, were to blame for a lot of this, do you try to make the White House pay for what you guys are trying to do right now to deal with this?
Well, I think I want to get the answers first. I believe that, well, first of all, the problem is at the border. I mean, if you could walk across, people can walk. We have, you know, Venezuela, unfortunately, is you know, a failed state under a socialist dictator, and people are leaving. I think about a third of the population has left, and so I think a lot of them are great people. But unlike immigration that we've had in the past, in our Venezuelan community that has been here, where they had sponsors, where they had family members, where they came.
And here's the thing. Here's what they're not getting from the mayor. Here's what you're not understanding from this mayor's perspective. The mayor is with the bullshit because, and shout out to my man, Truth Talker, hit your boy with $20. And also to Mike G and Jay Turk. Let me say something about Mike G, Jay Turk, Jermaine, David. I have to give you guys, my man Omerta, but to those guys specifically, you guys donate to me even when I'm not live. And I really appreciate it, man. I really do appreciate it. Matter of fact, this show is dedicated to y'all brothers. To those of you that have donated, I mean, even to be going through what I'm going through in my life right now and to have somebody just out the blue donate, or to see that donation pop up like that, it really means a lot, man. So thank you guys for those of you who have continued to donate, man. Even when I'm just not able to go live and do shows for y'all. I appreciate you, brothers. Thank you so much. Thank you.
That resources, they were educated. I mean, here we're getting people that just poured over the border, where you know they typically you walk across.
And this is why I'm gonna get off of this mayor and say, because he's just literally talking bullshit. Here's the problem with the mayor and why he's full of shit. Because you have two problems. You have an immigrant problem, which means there are people that are here in your city that are undocumented and are technically not supposed to be here. And that's a front that you fight with the federal government, right? You're a sanctuary state, whatever, and that kind of makes you into a sanctuary city, or you choose to be a sanctuary city, whatever, so you have illegals. That's one problem. But the other problem, which is the problem you have direct control over, Mr. Mayor Kaufman, is the problem of crime. So yes, you got to deal with all these immigrants, but the criminal aspect of it, you could have had these people put under wraps the minute they came and took over that complex, and you heard motherfuckers calling saying these immigrants are doing this, these immigrants are doing that, these immigrants have broke into my house, they done shot up my car, they done shot up the complex. You got 3 complexes that got taken over under your watch, and you haven't done a goddamn thing about it until the shit became national news. Crime, not just the immigrant problem where we got these undocumented people living here. No, we're talking about these people are literally terrorizing the people that you swore an oath to serve. In your city of Aurora, Colorado, you let these people get terrorized and become victims of all of these fucking illegal immigrants because you refuse to do anything from a criminal perspective and saying, hey, you illegal motherfuckers might be here, but y'all ain't gonna get to fuck up here and us not do nothing. We're gonna protect our own. And you didn't do that. Why? Because you don't give a shit about those people that live in those poor apartment complexes because they can't afford to live nowhere else. And that's why Kaufman is trying to take the position, well, we're going to investigate. We're going to try to find out what's happening. We're going to talk to our fellow law enforcement partners, and we're going to get to the bottom of this. You could have gotten to the bottom of this when the shit first started happening. Because you did know. You did know. And if you didn't, shame on you still, because you should be involved enough to where the police can say, hey, man, we got this big fucking problem here, man. And all these immigrants are here and they're fucking shit up. Crime is shot up in this little specific area because he said it's a small pocket, right? In that small pocket, you should definitely see the increase or the uptick in crime in that area, and you definitely could have addressed it because, like you said, it's only 3 apartment complexes. But that's why I say he's full of shit.
Swelling gang activity within the city of Aurora. She's now saying gang members have not taken over the Edge at Lowry Apartments. And neighbors there are speaking with officers over the past few days. Our own Courtney Fromm live with more. Yeah, this is a big concern with multiple apartments in the area. The video just shocking, going national now at this point. Good morning, Courtney.
Good morning, Nicole. Yeah, I think that's the biggest worry. I imagine the people who live in that apartment complex, when they saw that video, they automatically kind of assumed that that's what was going on, simply because there's other apartment complexes right here in Aurora dealing with that same issue, according to those building owners.
Now you see, it's the same motherfuckers in these 2 down here at the bottom. That's the same thing. But the point is, the fact that they're in this emboldened to do this lets you know that they've been overrun. This is not normal criminal behavior. This ain't just one person. You see, it's a gang of motherfuckers. It's 3, 4 motherfuckers that's just going into these apartments. Whether people are living there or not, this should not be occurring, but it's occurring because there is no police presence, which means that the police ain't policing your area, the gangs are running your area.
Owners and those management companies. Now, take a look at that video. It was first given to us at daybreak on Wednesday, showing armed men breaking into multiple apartments at the Edge at Lowry apartment complex. Now, shortly before all of this video, there was a shootout that happened in the parking lot. I should say that happened after the video was taken. Now, this led to belief that a gang was potentially taking over the apartment complex. But on Friday, interim Aurora Police Chief Heather Morris, you heard from her just a few minutes ago, stated that is not the case.
Out here, we want to reassure the people that live in this community that we are actively investigating criminal activity that's happening and listening to them to so that we can learn anything that we're missing. You know, what are we missing, and actually find out what exactly is going on.
And we know Aurora city leaders, they've gone on to say that Aurora is a safe place to live. I imagine there's just a lot of concerns right now considering other stories that have been going on. But the city of Aurora will be getting in touch with out-of-state owners of the apartment buildings who the city said were already in violation with codes and criminal activity before this entire incident happened. But definitely a story we'll be following. Of course, we'll keep you updated if more information becomes available. For now, live in Aurora, Courtney Fromm, Daybreak on 2.
Great point, Dion. I got to mention this. Dion Prime says, also Harris, wait, hold on, let me go back. More importantly, Kamala Harris, like most Democrats, denied and opposed all common sense attempts to curb these illegal immigrant problems. Right. By them literally pulling, and they literally stopped Donald Trump's immigrant policies that were in place day one. Like, hit the ground running. They stopped that shit. They stopped that pipeline shit. They ended all that bullshit. And they stopped the building of the wall. Day one. That's what he did. Facts. But check this out. He said also Harris cast tie-breaking votes in the Senate, which has led to bills being signed by Biden that affect Americans. Therefore, she is responsible. You are correct. I forgot to say that. There are plenty of bills where she was the tie-breaking vote, and she voted for the fuckery that is occurring today. Facts. That is so true. That is so true. But let me give you this before I wrap up. Shout out to my man Andre, hit me with $25. What did he say? He said, sent to you. He said, thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But also, he said that they're talking about how that interim police chief, this is not what's going on. This is not happening, and this is not what they're saying isn't true. Nope. The mayor just said 3 apartment buildings have been taken over. But here's the other thing, and this is from just the law enforcement perspective. When you see how those criminals were moving, they know they're being recorded, and they're not moving with any sense of urgency. They're not smashing and grabbing. They're literally walking around and they're breaking into apartments. You know why they're doing that? Because they know ain't no police coming no time soon. And by the time the police get there, they'll be long gone. That lets you know that those criminals are that secure in doing what they're doing because they can see them blink cameras. They can see the Ring cameras. They see that shit and they like, fuck it. So all of that shit to where, oh, it's still okay. It may be safe to live in Aurora, but it ain't safe to live in them goddamn apartments. It's safe places to live in Chicago, but it ain't safe living in Inglewood. She was the tie-breaking vote for the Inflation Reduction Act, and we see how that shit's working. So you think about how those people are moving, and you think about what they were doing, and when you saw those police, you noticed they was going door to door when? In the fucking daytime. They wasn't out there at night when it's going down. Just like when I be talking about all these community activists and all that shit, man, nobody give a fuck that you out in the community during the daytime when the lights on. Let's see your ass out there community activizing when the motherfucking lights is off, nigga, when it's 10:30 at night. Not sundown. No, nigga, we talking about sun gone. When it's motherfucking 11:30 p.m. instead of 11:30 a.m. These community activists love to do that. Be out and about while all the motherfucking thug ass niggas are sleeping. You know, thug niggas like vampires. They only come out at night, nigga. The thugs come out at night. Watch. The thugs come out at night. So I don't want to hear that bullshit. Those motherfuckers came out there policing, knocking on doors and shit in the morning. In the morning. They ain't coming out there when it's cracking. They ain't coming out there when they can't see all them Venezuelans. They're not coming out there then. They coming out in the daytime when it's light. Hey, just want to let you know, Aurora Police Department, can you let us know if you see anything looking suspicious? Right. Yeah, come back at motherfucking 9:30, motherfucker. You'll see it. How about you go knock on them doors where them squatters at? Get them the fuck up out of there. Oh, well, we get squatters rules and there's a process to that. We can't do anything right now readily, but we're working on it. Right. That's the bullshit. That's what you call the overlay for the underlay. So just think about that. Don't let them tell you that this shit ain't real and that it ain't happening. The mayor has admitted to it, and you can see how those criminals are moving, that they ain't scared. They are quite comfortable roaming around and policing their own motherfucking shit that they done squatted and took over. So don't get it twisted. Don't try to tell me some other bullshit or some other bullshit bill of goods saying, oh no, it's not like that. Don't believe it. Nope. Believe it, motherfucker. Believe it. Because you can clearly see how those criminals were moving and the things that they were doing, that it's definitely going down in those 3 complexes over there where all them illegal aliens are, illegal immigrants are. So I would say this, I hope that those people that can get out, get out. I hope that Hell's Angels go up there and put the screws to them motherfuckers or do something. Because my thing is this is exactly why we need to protect our Second Amendment rights. Because if I live there in that area and I can't afford to move, then what do? I need to be able to defend myself, and I need to be able to protect myself against 4 people coming into my apartment unit with guns. So I really hope that those people can get it together. I want to thank you all for tuning in so much. Hey, Amanda, you can go ahead and catch it on the replay. Y'all click that like button, click that subscribe button. I'll try to come back and do another show later on. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Y'all have a good holiday. Enjoy yourself, enjoy your family, or just, hey, take a break and do some rest and relaxation. But I love you guys. Until next time, thank you everybody who donated. Thank you for everybody that sent your boy something. My man Truth Talker Teacher, my man Mike G, my man Andre Hill, Jay Turk. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you all supporting me. Till next time, peace, and I'm out.